Hey class, so I'm gonna go over really quickly what our library calls research guides. So research guides are super helpful in reviewing what is important for research and databases that you should be using. So this is our home screen, right, for the library, and you can find these research guides right here under their menu on the left-hand side. When you're going to this, you want to choose obviously the one that is relevant to our class, which is English 100 Freshman Comp. And when you get here, they have a lot of useful tips and tools. So they have the vocabulary listed. They have, different things that you should understand. They have search strategies over here to the left. And the search strategies break down a few different methods that are really important for you to understand. So they talk about keywords. Whenever you have a hard time finding articles or research pertaining to your topic, you probably need to adjust your keywords. So this gives you tips on keywords and different resources you can use to try different keywords. The other thing is phrase searching. So it talks about using quotation marks and searching specific phrases. So if you have the quotation marks around it, then it's going to include all those words. It also talks about truncation, which truncation is when you use a little asterisk and you can shorten your word that you're typing in. So let's say you wanted to look up something to do with psychology or psychological effects. Rather than typing in psychology or psychological effects, you could type in psych and then an asterisk. And by doing that, anything with the word psych in it will pop up. Psychiatry, psychology, psychiatric, etc. So it's helpful to use this truncation when you're working with a word that is altered a lot because it'll open up your search. So the example they gave you here is commerce. So rather than typing in commerce fully, they got rid of the E and put an asterisk, and then you'll notice that what will pop up is commerce, commercial, commercially, etc. The other thing to be aware of is the Boolean method, which is and, or, and not. So you are able to type in multiple words, especially when you click advanced search, and you could use the word and it'll keep those two items in mind. So let's say you wanted to type in immigration and race, immigration and Mexico, then it would have to have these two ideas connected. If you typed in or, immigration or Mexico, then it would have one or the other. If you were to type in not, immigration, not Mexico, right, then they're going to look at immigration that doesn't have to, or that doesn't have the word Mexico in their database, or sorry, not database, but article that you're looking at. So something else you can access from these research guides is finding articles, which will show you multiple databases that are helpful for you to consider. So it has 3 databases listed here: Opposing Viewpoints, In Context, Academic Search Complete, and SIRS, which will go more in depth in a different video on the databases and how to evaluate them, like how to use them specifically. But they also have video tutorials if after reviewing our video you have any questions. The ones that tend to be the best for, first brainstorming your ideas are Opposing Viewpoints. Another one that's not listed here that can be beneficial is CQ Researcher. Once you have an idea of what you want to type or write about, Academic Search Complete is a very in-depth one that can help you. Another thing that's important about these research guides is they talk about evaluating sources. So you want to be using scholarly sources, right? And this even talks about that further. We want to be using scholarly sources, not popular sources, meaning we want things to be peer-reviewed, published in a journal preferably. A newspaper article, while it is peer-reviewed, is still leaning more towards popular. But even further on the popular scale, which would not be acceptable, would be blogs or Wikipedia or, different things of that nature. So you want to make sure that you're leaning more towards scholarly. So something to also think about is we are synthesizing our these works to create an argument for ourselves, right? So what that means is we are collecting information from multiple sources, multiple you know, areas, and you are going to sort of forge your own specific argument out of those multiple ideas. So you're combining them to create your own idea. So this research guide is going to be super helpful for any tips and tricks with researching. And if you are unsure or you forget which databases to use, going to our research guide up here for Freshman Comp is going to be beneficial because you can click find articles and they have multiple databases listed here. So feel free to, send me any questions that you might have, and I can always, help you with your research. My biggest suggestion is that you keep track of which databases you've used and what you have typed in, what combinations you've used, keyword wise, so that I can help you more specifically as you're doing your research, because otherwise I might, repeat some of the techniques or tips you've already done. So make sure you're keeping track of which databases you're using and what you've typed into them. So let me know if you have any questions as you get started on your research.